Yeah, we're excited to be here. We want to thank our Commissioner, Don Lucia, for being here with us and enjoying this. We look forward to some good hockey. And with that, I'll open it up.
We'll go for you first, Trenton. What would you say is maybe the keys of the game for tomorrow against a tough Duluth game? It's a tough Duluth team.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming in with a lot of experience. So, you know, for us, I think the first 10 minutes is going to be key, kind of matching or exceeding their energy level, you know, matching their compete, and just bringing our game, not be intimidated by the moment. And like I said, just play tech hockey.
For you, Brian, how much do you guys know about Duluth, and how much scouting have you been able to do this past week on the Bulldogs?
Obviously, it's a pretty quick turnaround. Found out who we're playing on Sunday, but we've gotten video from the coaches, so we've got or done the preparation that we think we need, and I think we're ready to go.
Michael, you have experience here in the national tournaments. What can you maybe bring from your previous experience here this year to help these Huskies out?
Yeah, I think it's a new stage for everyone, so it's important to just settle down the nerves early. You know, kind of just make simple plays early on to get yourself into the game, and then just roll at the pace of it. Everything's a little faster in the playoffs, especially in the NCAA tournament here. So guys just got to get up to speed quick and be able to make plays that they're used to making all year at a higher level, so we can go out there and compete.
Thank you, guys. We'll open up for questions. First question, front left.
Coach, we've gotten some secondary scoring from some of the guys later on in the season, but when it comes to this part of the season in this type of scenario, do you lean heavily again on the guys that are next to you and the veterans that have really you know, pulled this team through much of the year?
Yeah, we'll be looking for everybody to contribute. You know, what we try to accomplish is everything we talk about is try to be your best when your best is needed. So everything we do daily, you know, weekly, is to try to prepare them, to give them a chance for that. We don't spend no big changes for this week. We prepare as we do for any other team at any time. The good things, we've had a couple weeks to do it, and we as a staff had a pretty good idea early who we were going to be playing, so we were able to get a jump on it a little bit, and so that we could, on this, when the players talk about a quick turnaround, it's we left on Monday night because of weather. So we'll look for contributions from everybody we can get it from at any time. I expect it to be a good game. I expect it to be, you know, expectations would be a low scoring game, and chances of being a 1-goal game, and with us in it, chances of being an overtime game. So you know, we're looking forward to a great hockey game.
Matt Wellens with the Duluth News Tribune.
For any of the players, your coach just mentioned overtime. You guys have played a lot of those this year. UMD has a pretty long run of history of overtime in this tournament as well. How comfortable are you guys when it gets into those situations at the end of the game where, you know, the littlest mistake, you know, you either need to capitalize it or it can go against you?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we've been in overtime games throughout the year. We had 2 overtime games against Ferris State in the first round, 1 going into double overtime. You know, when we were successful in both, you know, we have a lot of veteran players that, you know, step up in big moments. You know, and an elite goaltender in Blake, who, you know, when the stage is big, he's playing at his best, and you know, has kept us in those games. So I think for us, you know, we're going to win a game, however it is. If we got to win it 1-0, we're going to win it 1-0. If we got to win it 6-5, we got to win it 6-5. You know, we're going to do whatever it takes to win.
For Brian, when you were in high school at Delano, you guys were up in Duluth for a Christmas tournament, I think your senior year. It was you and Ben Myers on that team, and then Hermantown had Dylan Sandberg, Ryan Sandelin, a bunch of guys that went D1. What do you remember about that Christmas tournament your senior year at Delano?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We did that tournament all 3 years of high school, and our senior year, it was, it came to, or we ended up playing Hermantown, and yeah, they had a real good team, and they ended up pulling out the win. But yeah, it was fun to play in that environment. I think it was 1 versus 2 in the state, and yeah, Hermantown has a real good program, and they've shown that for a long time.
Coach, having played Minnesota State 4 times, do you feel like that's the best comparison when playing against teams from the NCHC?
Yeah, I'd say it is. There was some interleague play with our league in Duluth, and that gave us a good look. And when I watch a video, we're trying to see the similarities that we saw from the New Year's games against Mankato and how they brought that into Denver and Western Michigan last weekend. You can see a little bit more attention to detail, a little bit tighter patterns within the way that they play in moving as units, less outliers within the game. So they've tightened up their structure quite a bit. So I think the biggest thing with Duluth, my biggest concern with Duluth is this is not a new stage for them. The distractions they've been through. That's the biggest concern that I have against Duluth is they have probably a pretty good feel as to which players within their lineup are going to play a certain way. And we have a pretty good feel of how our players are going to play, but the stage is a different stage. So that's if I had a concern going in, that would be it. That their experience in this tournament. But I've been around teams that first time in the tournament won the tournament. So won the entire thing, not just the regional, but won the entire thing. So we'll just play it and see. I'm confident in our group. So
Back left.
Adam Woden, College Hockey News. Coach,
hi, Adam.
how are you?
I like your articles.
Well, thank you. I hope you still like them after this weekend. But
Why, is there something I'm going to read?
we'll see. No, I'm just kidding. How do you look at tape from this past weekend against Duluth, how Duluth played, and it might seem daunting on video trying to figure out how to score against them and not have that mindset creep into the players who, haven't, like you said, had this experience?
Well, I thought Denver played well. I mean, were you at the games?
I watched.
Yeah, you watched them. Denver had a lot of scoring chances, and they're obviously dynamic. Denver's good, so they had a lot of chances. That game could have gone either way. I thought Duluth did a really good job of matching up against Western Michigan. I thought they did a really good job. I don't know what their season series was, but I know that in the game that I saw, you could tell that they had a pretty good feel, and the strengths that Western Michigan needed to do, or which within their game, or they felt they needed to do to win, played into the strengths that Duluth did defensively. I saw a lot of the same Duluth team that you see, low scoring, accountable, very good in front of their net, aggressive with their D, step up hard, and very little room to move between their, when you're working through the neutral zone against them. So that's, I didn't see it daunting. I saw it very deliberate, and but we played Mankato. The teams in our league play the same way every day. So, I think it prepared us. I think it prepares us to go out. I'm more concerned about our guys reading what you guys write and thinking these guys are unbeatable than I am about actually playing the game, because I think our league's done well. It prepares us every single game, and so I think it's gonna be a great hockey game. And I want our guys to be at their best in their moment and just be calm. It's just a hockey game, like Commissioner Lucia said earlier. It's just a hockey game. It's just a hockey game. Just play it like you play any other game, and it'll be a good game.
Front left.
Michael, you got I think a pretty different perspective than most of the guys on the team, coming from a different team and seeing this team go through the year, and knowing some of the guys obviously very well. But can you talk about your perspective on your fellow teammates from when you first got here to where they are now, and do you feel you bring a different kind of approach to where the team is right now in this situation?
Yeah, I think coming into a new team, and even at every new season, you're faced with new guys. And you don't really know how it's going to look. But as I went through the transfer portal process, Tech was a team that stood out as a team that can make a big jump from where they were last year to this year. We have a big senior class, which I think Coach has touched on. A lot of difference makers in that class. I think our goal from day one was to always to get to this point. you know, you play the games throughout the year, but these games have a special meaning. So, you know, I think everyone will be able to bring it, step up to the plate, to just go out there and make a difference tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, I should say. But, you know, I think everyone in that room is excited about the opportunity that we have and the work that we've put in to get to this point, and now it's just got to translate into performing tomorrow.
Any more questions for the coach of student athletes? Back left.
Coach, full disclosure, I used to be a hockey SID at Notre Dame in the old CCHA. Made many of those long bus trips up to NMU and Lake Superior. But curious on your, maybe, I apologize if you've been asked this, but kind of your take on the new CCHA, how it's all shaked out, and kind of just your thoughts on, it's obviously been a lot of transition in college hockey the last few years.
Yeah. Did everybody hear that? He's asking about the new league, and for us, it's been incredible in a lot of ways. How the scheduling was done, with us, with every team having a home and away, home away, home away, instead of these 3-week trips where, you know, you kind of maybe lose your fan base and things like that, and being every other week at home was great. So from scheduling on out, but you see how it's run. Like, no disrespect in any way to the past, but I'd be interested to know the feeling of others. I thought that the decision that was made in that Bemidji-Mankato game the other night was tremendous leadership, stepping right out front, and doing things the way they needed to be done, no matter which side you're on. If you're on the northeastern side or whatever, I thought that how that shook out and how that handled and with the right thing being done was great. So that's what we've seen in everything. The communication in our league this year has been tremendous from early on when we had a lot of ties and we're, you know, losing a couple games. You know, we lost early to in overtime to Mankato. We lost early to Notre Dame with 2 seconds left in 3-on-3 overtime. You know, of our 12 losses, 6 of them are in 3-on-3 overtime. So in theory, we've lost 6 games on the year in regulation. I'm not gonna run out there tomorrow to try to play 3-on-3, you know, because it hasn't been, you know, great for us. But we've lost 6 games in overtime, and we've lost, of our 6 games in regulation, 5 have been by a goal. We've 2 losses by a goal and 2 overtime to Mankato. But anyways, what I'm getting at is with that, the calls would come early from the league. Joe, make sure your team knows you guys are okay. This is what's going on with the pairwise. These overtime games aren't killing you. You know, so the communication from our league office, video going out, this is what we're going to be looking for from officiating standpoint, things like that. It's been incredible. The professionalism and everything is like it was in the old CCHA, and that was run really well. You know, when Tom Anastas and those guys were there. So it's been an incredible experience for us so far, and I know it'll just get better going forward as the league grows and grows, and the goal is for the league to win a national title. Because I remember back in the CCHA when, I don't know, who was the first team to win it? Was a CCHA team, was it Lake State? Maybe back in the day? It might have been, or I think, no, you know what? Bowling Green won it. Bowling Green would have won it before them against Duluth, ironically, in a double overtime game. So that puts you on the map as a league, and then helps you in recruiting, helps your whole league and everything in recruiting. So the league has been incredible. It's been a really positive move from my perspective for Michigan Tech.
Any further questions? Back left.
And this other question, it may not be pertinent, but I was looking kind of at the history of Michigan Tech and you all winning your titles, and I know it was decades ago. But do you see any parallels between Michigan Tech and UMD, just in terms of geographically, you know, the northern part of the state, a big state school, you know, that you're competing against, you kind of recruit maybe similar kids, similar style, and then, you know, several titles bunched together there. Have you ever seen any parallels in how the different programs have built their success and kind of knowing who they are and how they need to be good?
Yeah, I do, but I see it a little differently than you're saying. I look at some of the teams that I think that a school like us, first of all, I'd like to model after, and I think that other schools should model after us in respect to that. And what I mean by that is Duluth is a Division II school, right? Division II school playing Division I. Mankato, I believe, is a Division II school playing Division I. St. Cloud, I believe, is a Division II school playing Division I. All of us play a really hard to play against style of game with pace. We're trying, we're niching out against schools that have so much, networks and all these things to offer. But you want to model after those types of schools. They're the same as us, and we would like to have a network of that. That's where I see the similarities. In the regions we're at, the recruiting proximity that we're at, and the way that we play so that other people should be, we want, emulate us, because you can't rely on getting all the talent. You can't rely on getting all, you have to have a good team. You have to have a good team. And that's where I see the similarities, is that Duluth has a good team with outstanding coaching. St. Cloud, I give them the same nod. Mankato, obviously, it's the same nod. That's where I see the similarities in what we really are, which is Division II schools competing at a very high level against Division I schools and those budgets and everything else.